about the law.
Hello everyone, it's finally over. The Bengals' once promising season has mercifully come to a disappointing close. Marvin Lewis and John Harbaugh exchanging pleasantries before the Bengals and Ravens mixed things up this afternoon, and it was another frustrating afternoon for the Bengals, who just didn't seem to be on the same page. At this point in his career, Carson Palmer probably has nightmares about facing Ed Reed. Reed picked him off on the first drive of the game, turnover number 1 for Cincinnati. And even when the Bengals did make plays, like this 21-yard completion to Jerome Simpson, they'd shoot themselves in the foot with an untimely turnover. Turnover number 2 for the Bengals. And I don't know if there is a way to avoid him, but if there is, please do not throw the ball in the vicinity of Ed Reed. He found a way to pick that Palmer pass off of his shoe tops. Just before the second quarter ended, the Bengals were threatening to put points on the board, but instead it was 6-0 Ravens at the half. Turnover number 3. In the third, it was more of the same. Palmer and Simpson hook up again, and he tries to do too much, coughing it up for the second time of the day. Turnover number 4 for Cincy. 13-0 Ravens after a Ray Rice touchdown, when finally something positive happens for Palmer and Simpson. They hook up in the back corner of the end zone, and maybe, just maybe, there's hope. Nope, because when Palmer dropped back late in the fourth and decided to run with it, the end result would be very familiar. Another Bengals turnover, their 5th of the day. Not too often you can win a ball game with 5 turnovers. The Bengals end their season with a 13-7 loss and a 4-12 record.
2 costly fumbles, especially the last one. They went in and scored on that last drive, and that hurt. Sorry to all the fans and the city for those fumbles.
And there are lots of questions to be answered going forward. The chief among them, will Marvin Lewis be back as head coach?
You know, I don't know. I just, you know, it's going to be something that I think both sides need to sit down and talk about and agree upon, and I need to kind of go away and sleep on things.
And how about the rest of the AFC North? Browns and Steelers in Cleveland, and he's back. Troy Polamalu back from injury and picks off Colt McCoy. That sets up Ben Roethlisberger for this 56-yard pitch and catch to Mike Wallace. The Steelers never looked back after the touchdown. They destroy the Browns 41-9. And a little unusual for the Colts to be playing a meaningful regular season game this time of year, but it was win and they were in this afternoon against the Titans. And you just knew Peyton Manning wouldn't allow any other outcome than a victory. It was tied at 20 when Adam Vinatieri kicked the game-winning field goal as time expired. The Colts win the AFC South for the 7th time in 8 seasons. Flip it over to the NFC, Saints and Buccaneers. Pretty simple for the Bucs. They had to win this game, then sit back and hope that both the Giants and the Packers lost so they could get in. Josh Freeman threw for 2 touchdowns to get the job done. They win 23-13. So what about the Giants? They traveled to Washington to take on the Redskins. For them to get in the postseason, they needed to win and hope the Packers lost. Mario Manningham finished with 101 receiving yards and a touchdown, just enough to get the Giants by the skin 17-14. So the Bucs are out. Okay, Green Bay, what you got? Hosting the Bears, who already locked up a first-round bye. It was all tied up at 3 until the 4th when Aaron Rodgers found tight end Donald Lee. The defense held on, and the Packers win 10-3, meaning they lock up the final wild card spot, knocking off both Tampa Bay and New York in the process. So here's your playoff picture. In the first round of the AFC, you have a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. The Indianapolis Colts will host the New York Jets. Meanwhile, the Baltimore Ravens will travel to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The New England Patriots and Pittsburgh Steelers will sit back and wait to see who they will play in the second round. Over in the NFC, it's Mike Vick and the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Green Bay Packers, and the defending Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints will play either Seattle or St. Louis, those two playing right now, and it looks like Seattle will probably win. The Atlanta Falcons and Chicago Bears will await the winners of those 2 matchups. And the Redhawks traveled to Kansas today. Could they end the longest home winning streak in the country was the question. Well, they got out to an early 3-2 lead. Nick Winbush with a triple. He finished with 9. But that was the last time Miami would hold the lead. The Jayhawks went on a 14-0 run to put things pretty much out of reach. Then check this out. I leave you with this. Brady Morningstar finds Marcus Morris, and boom! Man's game. Enough said. Kansas dominates 83-56. And that's it for sports. We're back with more after this.